What's going on, guys? Dre Bun 777 again. And what I wanted to talk about was fanboyism. Well, what is fanboyism and why fanboys would probably hate me. Alright. Well, first of all, what is a fanboy? Okay, and what is fanboyism? To me, fanboyism is like a person who likes a certain item, certain celebrity or company, and these companies don't, or celebrities don't give a shit about these fanboys. That's what I'm going to say. Now, they'll defend the companies at no matter what cost if they did something good or bad. Same way with celebrities, you know, or items. If the item's doing good or bad, they don't care. They'll defend them at no matter what cost. Whereas a person that is a fan, see, there's a difference between fan and fanboy. Fan will tell you if you're right or wrong, okay? So that's what the difference is to me. Usually a fanboy is on something's dick. We'll just leave it at that, okay? But anyway, why would a fanboy hate me? Well, the reason why fanboys probably hate me because I try to base my opinions on legitimate facts. Like, you already know I'm about to go back to the topic about the Vita and the smartphone. Well, basically handhelds and smartphones. Yeah, a lot of people have been telling me the 3DS, you know, has been selling fast, alright? It has. It's like one of the best selling handheld devices, or gaming devices, I should say. But you know why it's selling fast right now? Because they lowered their prices, comparable to smartphones, alright? That's what I'm going to say. The smartphone was definitely crippling their sales, and you know this was a fact, you know? Now, we already know gaming on a smartphone is not better than a handheld, because a handheld is more for gaming, alright? But what fanboys fail to realize is this: what usually journalists be talking about be true. Not every time, but most of the times what journalists be talking about is true, alright? Now think about it. When they look at smartphones and they're looking at handheld devices, when they compare these two, they're not just talking about gaming. They look at every other aspect, every other factor, you know. They look outside the box. They don't look at just the gaming aspect, you know. The Vita right now has some very good features, and I like the Vita, you know. But I still kind of say that it's probably not going to make it in this market. I ain't going to say that it ain't going to make no sales at all, but they're not going to meet expected sales like they were supposed to, alright? And the reason why is, like I said, look at the smartphone. It could do a lot more stuff than what the Vita can. Now, people will tell you about, you know, party chat and all this other crap. Yeah, those is good features for the Go. Yeah, that's good for the Vita. But, like I said, smartphones could do a lot more stuff. Alright? Well, let's compare the Vita and the smartphone, for example. Alright? The Vita, yeah, like we said, it's a better gaming device. We already know the smartphone's not going to compete with the gaming on the handheld system. Can it in the future? Yeah. More than likely, like I was saying, in the future, they're probably going to mix handhelds with smartphones. I mean, they kind of did with the Vita. You know, they have 3G technology. But here's what I'm going to say: the 3G technology on this Vita is probably no good. It would be a waste of money. I'm going to tell you that right now. Now, it was confirmed that the Vita was going to have their 3G network from AT&T. You see, AT&T to me is a bad company. I've heard a lot more complaints from AT&T than any other cell phone company in America. At least in America, I know. Now, good thing about AT&T, their 3G network is probably the fastest one in America. That's true. They are nation's fastest 3G network. But they lose signal a lot faster than other companies, okay? You know, data-wise, AT&T is better. But like I said, this is an extra phone bill that you're going to have, and it's not even a phone, you see. you gotta look at it at that aspect. And how much is it going to cost for data use? Alright, the data use on an AT&T powered Vita is going to cost like $30 for 2 gigs. 2 gigs of memory, or whatever it's called. 2 gigs is so easy to hit up to, so that's basically a high bill right there. You know, like if you were going online with this thing, or say if you could do online gaming with this, you would already hit your 2 gigs that fast. You would. There's no doubt about it. You know, like people think about it's just memory storage. It doesn't go by memory storage. I'm not a computer nerd, but I know about this stuff. It doesn't go by memory storage. It goes by your upload and download. It goes by you playing online, whatever you do. That's how they get you on your phone bills. You see, the Vita, to my opinion, would have been better going with Verizon or Sprint. And the reason why I say that is because, think about it, Verizon might be expensive too, but you're going to get more signal everywhere than AT&T. AT&T has too many complaining customers. And on Sprint, you would have an unlimited data use, you see. Now, if you have unlimited data use, a hardcore gamer would be happy about that. That's what I want to talk about. Alright, and then other things, like I said, about a Vita and a smartphone, right? Remember, the Vita is not a phone unless you can do it off of Skype. And you know you're not going to really be using the Skype. Alright, that's a feature you're talking about that you probably won't use. Okay? And another thing, like I said, you gotta look at it from other aspects besides gaming. Now, if you looked outside of gaming and looked at it from like other viewpoints, you will see why journalists say that the smartphone is going to cripple the sales of the Vita. Think about it. When they do their reviews on like certain things, like the Vita and the smartphone, alright, when they're comparing those two things, they're looking at casual gamers, alright? They're not looking at hardcore gamers, they're looking at people in general. There's more casuals than hardcores, alright? And that's true. Plus they go by age and gender, you know? How old are you? Or if you're male and female. You already know the hardcore gamers are usually male and at a younger age, see? Whereas the smartphone, you know, they're not going to be, it's going to appeal to everybody, a lot more people in general, as opposed to a handheld device. That's what I'm trying to talk about. Alright, these fanboys still don't get that. You gotta look at every factor. Don't look at the gaming aspect. Alright? Just don't. And they try to defend this. You know, they're worried about a piece of metal and plastic failing, or talking about how it's going to do so good. I'm trying to give you legitimate facts. Why are you so worried about a piece of metal and plastic? It's like they care about it more than their own life, and it's crazy. That's what I mainly wanted to talk about. Another thing is, the Vita, like I said, has great features on it, but you know, the smartphone is just better for its price. Alright? Now, we already know the Vita can do better gaming. It's going to give you a way better gaming experience. We already know that. But think of it from the aspect that it's not a phone unless you can do Skype. Alright? Nobody's going to be carrying around something a little bit bigger than their phone. Now, and then when you say you want to do web browsing on this, what if you're under 3G? You're going to be using up your data so fast that you're going to be paying an extra cell phone bill. You see? That's why I'd rather have a smartphone with me. If I have a smartphone and a Vita and I'm going to do web browsing, I'm definitely going to go with the smartphone. I'm not going to be bringing out no Vita for that. Now, for movies and stuff, yeah, I probably would bring out the Vita because it looks better on the screen. But we got cell phones that can do all that. The smartphones can do most of that stuff. And another thing is, these gamers or these fanboys will talk about what's it called? They'll talk about how much money that gaming companies make. Alright? Yeah. The thing is, gaming companies only make millions, whereas phone companies make billions. Alright? There's more phone companies out there than gaming companies. Think about it. We already get, in America, you got what? 4 major carriers for phones, alright? Smartphones or regular cell phones. But I'm going to stick on smartphones, alright? And then you got prepaid carriers that carry smartphones, you know, like Android. You already know. See, that's what I'm saying. It's easier to afford a smartphone than it is a handheld device. In today's economy, you're not going to really be wanting to buy all these handheld games. It's just suicide. You're going to be losing a lot of money. Whereas I could play a game like Angry Birds. Now, like I said before, Angry Birds is not going to be as good as Uncharted. Of course, I'm not going to play Uncharted on a touchscreen because, like I said, I like gaming with buttons. But like I said, though, it's all about where's the money at. How much money are you really going to be spending? Alright? The smartphone just is better for prices. You know, like I said, the developing for games isn't as good as a handheld device like the Vita or 3DS. But, you know, it's more affordable though. And it appeals to casual people. You know, it appeals to more people than what stuff would be for a hardcore person. Now, yeah, and then let's get back onto the phone topic again. Alright, when I was talking about how they make billions, think about it. There's a lot more manufacturers for phone companies. In fact, some of the gaming companies, you know, have owned us, are in this phone business. You know that, right? Think about it. Microsoft, they might have Xbox, but they also got smartphones as well. They make Windows Phone. And Sony, don't forget about Sony too. Well, they're with a company called Sony Ericsson, but that is owned by Sony, though, and a company called Ericsson as well. So Sony Ericsson makes phones, alright, too. Yeah, they even made a handheld device mixed with a phone, the Xperia Play. So, yeah, that's why I'm saying they're going to eventually have a hybrid of smartphone and a handheld gaming device. They're going to eventually do it. And hopefully it'll call people. You know, that would be better. You know, I'm just trying to tell these fanboys, though, what I think about the smartphone hurting its sales is going to be true just because of the fact the Vita is not going to really appeal to casual gamers. Alright, we got to appeal to all types of people. You can't just appeal to the hardcore gamers. You just can't. You got to appeal to everybody. You know, they got to have a bigger crowd. You see, and like I said, more manufacturers make phones than and they got more developers on phones than they do on what's it called, on gaming devices, on consoles too. See, there's more phone companies than there are consoles and handhelds. All right. And a lot of fanboys still fail to realize that. Phone companies make billions. In fact, if you play online on a console, hardcore gamers, you gotta realize though that your phone, that your console or your device is usually powered by a phone company. Whether it's a cable company or a cell phone company, that's still a phone company, you know. And a lot of them fail to realize it. Whether it's satellite too, because they got satellite phones, or phones that go off of satellite, stuff like that. But usually a cable company and cell phone company can power up your console for online. You see, so if a hardcore gamer tries to tell me different, then he's lying to himself. He knows that. See, that's why I'm saying that the smartphone is going to be better than the Vita. Not because it can game better, because we already know gaming on the Vita would be way better, 1,000 times better than it would be on a smartphone. The thing is, who does it appeal to? It appeals to a bigger crowd than a handheld does. That's what I'm saying. And a lot of these fanboys still just do not get it. And then another thing is, fanboys argue about features that they hardly probably use. You know, for example, they was talking about Blu-ray players. Alright, for the PS3, it's the cheapest Blu-ray player, or it was at one time. I think it still is. But yeah, nobody really uses a Blu-ray player, especially if you got Netflix. Alright, you're going to use Netflix over the Blu-ray player. Are you going to be really buying the CDs, or would you just stream it off the internet? You know, you're going to do what's easier. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, if I got a handheld device and a smartphone now, let's get back to this subject. Handheld device and a smartphone. Now, if I have the Vita in one pocket, like I'm eventually going to get the Vita still, so I'm going to explain to you how good it is. But if you have the Vita and you have the smartphone, alright, think of it this way. Now, which one can call? Smartphone. Where you going to pull your internet off of? The smartphone, more likely. Even if your Vita was Wi-Fi only, what if you turned your smartphone into a Wi-Fi router? See, it's going to be powered up by your smartphone. Instead of you having to buy the 3G version, and you're just only going to be web browsing. Either way, like I said, you would still be using your smartphone. I don't see why you would want to use the Wi-Fi hotspot feature on your phone to power up a Vita. Unless if you were doing online gaming on a bus or something. Now that would actually be good. That's the only thing I would really be using that for. You see, I really don't buy PlayStation or Xbox products unless it's mainly for online. You know, although this is a handheld, so you don't really need to play online a lot. But if it got the party chat and stuff like that, yeah. Especially if you want this on the go. That's what I'm trying to say. But I'm being a lot more lenient on the PS Vita. I do want it to make it in this market. Okay? Don't tell me that I want it to fail. I never said I want it to fail. I want it to do good. I actually like the Vita. It's a nice device. But like I said, if it's going to have to do good in this, the only way it's going to do good in its market is if they market it right. You know? At least have it on commercials saying it's coming out soon in February in America, that is, or wherever, you know, wherever it comes out and whenever it comes out. Yeah, they should be marketing this stuff, putting this stuff on commercials, pushing it out to people. You see, that's what the problem is. They're not pushing this out hard enough, whereas the smartphone is getting pushed out easily. They're on the commercials almost all the time. You see, like I said before, the smartphone comes out almost every week, whereas the handheld devices come out, what, every year or every few years? That's what I'm trying to say. That's what the fanboys fail to realize. You gotta look at what's the market is today. You know, what is out, what is new, you know, what is popular. And you already know, girls don't really buy devices like the handheld devices. I mean, they do, but, you know, more females and more people that are older are going to buy a smartphone compared to a handheld device. And you know this, fanboys. So you got to get this through your head. You got to look at it like that. Look at it from a different point of view other than gaming. That's what I'm trying to talk to you about. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that your opinions are always wrong. She might be right on some things. But, like I said, don't be arguing about features that you are not going to use. And look at things from different perspectives. Okay? You got to perceive a little bit differently other than gaming. See, like I said, Other than gaming, the smartphone is going to cripple this thing. You already know it. Like I said, the next handheld device is going to be mixed in with a phone. I'm pretty sure it is. It's going to have to. That way you'll save money in the economy. You know, everything's got to be built into one. You get more features on a phone than you do on a handheld device. Like the alarm clock. I mean, Vita might have an alarm clock, or the DS might have an alarm clock. But like I said, the smartphone offers more in a smaller device as opposed to a handheld. Now, of course, like I said, solely for gaming on a handheld device, but for other features, that's where the smartphone will do better. That's what I'm trying to make the fanboys understand. Okay? So fanboys, have you learned anything today? I'm not trying to attack you. I'm just making sure that you understand where I'm coming from. Okay? You can say I'm wrong. You can say I'm not right. But you know I'm telling the truth about most of this stuff. Okay? And another thing is, don't be so hurt when somebody says, you know, or when somebody's giving their opinions, and some of it do be off of legitimate facts. You know, you're caring about a piece of metal and plastic or a company that don't give a shit about you. You see, I care about you though. I actually do care about you. I don't want you getting ripped off or buying something and then you end up not liking it. Okay? See, I used to like handheld devices, but now I switched over to smartphones. I got a little older, you know, and I like the console better anyway, you know. But take every factor into consideration before you give your opinions. Alright, fanboys? But Dre Bones still likes y'all. Well, I'm Dre Bones 777, and I'm out. Peace.